All right, I want to play this clip real quick. I did an Instagram reel of it, but Nina Turner has a new definition for what is a woman, and she's not just a nobody or a professor. She's like a high-ranking Democrat Bernie lady who's like a leader in the progressive movement. And I just wonder if she even believes herself. Let's take a watch. I got the sauce here. All right, so Nina Turner recently said, "Hey, Ron DeSantis, please define woke and don't use that cultural Marxism line because that means nothing. If you're going to have a war on something, say what you mean." To which someone responded, "Define woman." And Nina Turner responded, "If someone says they're a woman, they're a woman. Not a tough concept." Andrew Tate took that as a challenge and has defined himself a woman.
All of a sudden you put in your profile, obviously I joked about it, you're the most Googled woman on earth, that was based on your Twitter profile. Nina Turner comes out and says, if somebody says they're a woman, not a tough concept. Your response is, I'm a woman, right? You do that. And you've left it on Twitter.
Yep.
Tell us why.
Because I am. You don't believe me?
You're a woman?
Are you misgendering me?
According to Nina Turner's logic, that means he is one. And I'm not trying to throw fuel on the fire that is this cultural battle. It's annoying. I think a lot of people are annoyed by it. But Nina Turner's not just someone random. She's a high-ranking, well-respected, progressive Bernie Democrat. And she's really trying to act like if someone just says it, that means that it is. Personally, I think a lot of people are tired of the slippery slope. It's just getting kind of ridiculous, cringe, and so obviously overblown. But at the same time, they don't want to associate themselves with a lot of Republicans and conservatives. Even though I think a lot of people are quietly starting to agree, the left-wing narrative around it is just getting goofy. Let me know what you guys think. God bless you and thanks for... So Nina Turner, I don't like to just pour fuel on the cultural battle over this. I understand it's getting annoying and people fight over it every day. I just find it hilarious, and just Nina Turner annoys the crap out of me, to be honest. She's so fake, but she's got her moments of realness, but most of the part she's fake. She basically said it's not a tough concept. If you say you're a woman, you're a woman. Like, do you believe that, Nina Turner? Is that really where we're going? If I say I'm a cat, am I a cat? If I say I'm a wall, am I a wall? I understand. I have compassion to understand when people do disagree, but they're making somewhat of logical sense. Like, if you do this, this, and this, it makes you this. And it's like, I don't have to agree, but at least I could be like, all right, that person's trying. They're trying to put something together on this weird puzzle piece that is humanity. But like Nina Turner, it's like, if you just say you're a woman, you're a woman. It's not a tough concept. My question to my audience is, do you think Nina Turner actually believes that? Because this is this weird psychological thing I have in my head. I'm wondering, it's happening on all sides of politics, but especially the left. Do they actually believe that? Part of me feels like their head's so far up their own behind that they do. The other part of me is like, they have to know they're lying. Like, behind closed doors, a few drinks, they're like, yeah, I'm full of shit, but I got to because I don't want to get like attacked by the mob. Which is it? Because if you were like, hey, if you get all these parts and do this and rearrange your body, like, you're a woman, and it's like, I'm not saying you have to agree with that. I'm just saying it makes a little more sense than if like, it's just like, if you just say you are, you are. So then Andrew Tate said, I am that. And then it's like, well, according to her logic, that would be true, but everyone knows it's not true. Let me know what you think. I want to say this too. I posted that as an Instagram reel to my Instagram, and some chick comes out and she's like, oh, if you support Andrew Tate, you're a misogynist. I mean, are you really going to do that to your audience? And I have a few things to say. First of all, if you watch what I just showed you, which I hope you did if you were here, did I support Andrew Tate in that video? I'm going to get to what I actually think about Andrew Tate in a second, but it's like, I literally just played a clip for educational purposes. Nina Turner says, just call yourself a woman and that makes you a woman. Andrew Tate says, well, I'm a woman. I'm taking Nina Turner's bait and I'm calling myself a woman. Where in that video am I just drooling support for Andrew Tate? I'm just using it as an example to make the point of my story. So this is really starting to bother me about Trump, DeSantis, like this guy, that guy, Tate, like, like the brainwashing. And I know that America's suffering, especially because of the lockdowns and technology, but it's getting more and more apparent how many people are like broken because you can't say anything anymore. It's like, I disagree with one thing Trump says, then I must like Biden, even though that's not true. Thomas Massie has voted against Biden more than I think anyone else in Congress, but now he's a rhino and he's a Democrat, even though his track record's better than anyone else when it comes to opposing Democrats and the Biden regime. It's like, this is the world we live in now. You just can't say anything. I get why people are tuning out of politics. It's toxic. The left is toxic. The right is toxic. The MAGA movement's become toxic. Some DeSantis influencers are toxic. It's just a gross world where people act like children. And you're better off telling your 5-year-old that Santa Claus isn't real than you are telling the Democratic Party that their party's corrupt, or a Trump supporter that Trump isn't really that much different than DeSantis. Like, it's literally easier to tell a kid that the tooth fairy's not real. She'll cry for 5 minutes and then she'll get over it and the day's on. You have, it's such a fake world that we're living in. But the thing is, I just find it so funny. I post one thing and people are freaking out. It's like I can't even post a video of Andrew Tate. That's what triggers people. It's insane. And when it comes to supporting him, like any man would say, it's like, I'm not Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's not me. Andrew Tate's not responsible for everything I've ever said or done. I'm not responsible for what he said or done. But as far as do I like him? Yeah, I think he's wildly interesting to listen to. Do we live the same type of lifestyle? We don't. So we have disagreements there, but I don't hate him for it. There's some things that I've seen that I'm like, I wouldn't have done that, or I don't like that. But it's like, is this the world we live in? Do I have to sit here and condemn everything he's ever said, or else I'm a massive supporter of everything he's ever done? And I'm not condemning him. And this isn't like a fence sitting. It's just, that's the truth. It's like, I like listening to him. I've never been shy about it. He's interesting. He's intriguing. Most of the people who cry about him couldn't light a candle to how interesting and thought provoking a lot of stuff he says are. I definitely don't dislike him. So that's where I stand with it. But as far as like people got to run to me and be like, what about this? It's like, I've never even seen that. Or if, it's just so crazy. But when it comes to the woman stuff and like, what is a woman? I think that most people get it. Most Democrats get it. Most apolitical people get it. I follow sports pages and I see that as the litmus test for people who don't care about politics. It's not right-wing sports watchers. It's not left. Everybody watches sports. And the comment section is like filled with people who sound like right wingers and conservatives. Whenever they post Brittany Griner or WNBA, or they try to push the rainbow flag too much, everybody sounds like conservatives, even if they're not conservative, because most people are tired of it. What I see is, though, people are not trying to attach themselves to Republicans or Trump or influencers, so they kind of just believe it and don't say much. I've had multiple Democrats reach out to me and say, What is a Woman is an amazing documentary. It's so crazy. But they're not like tweeting about it publicly, and they don't like Trump, and they probably don't even really like DeSantis that much. They just agree culturally with this. So to me, this is such a winnable issue for conservatives if they play their cards right. I'm not saying to back down. I'm not saying to compromise your values, but in my opinion, a lot of Republican influencers, they lack compassion, empathy, and they're just annoying. So, they're going to ruin this opportunity to really win this cultural battle even bigger. I think it'll be won anyway, because it's basic truth and human nature. So no matter who does what, eventually the truth will rise the ranks. And, people like Nina Turner are just making a mockery of it. It just gets dumber and dumber and dumber to the point where that's really her idea of what is a woman. It's just, you just say you are. Is that how it works? If I say it, I just turn into one? Yeah, you don't have to change anything or do anything. It has nothing to do with biology or body parts or like what. None of that. None of that even comes into your head. You just got to say it. So I'm a wall. I'm a light post. No, like, how fake are these people going to be? They're just digging themselves in a deeper hole, which is where you have to be if you're on that side of the debate, because it doesn't really make sense. So in order to keep perpetuating stuff, you got to just keep digging yourself in a hole. Nina Turner is a phony. She's got some good points, but for the most part, she's like every other progressive now, where they have no mind of their own. If you have a mind of your own, you're probably watching Russell Brand or listening to Rogan or something. But the ones that are still in that mind frame of like, I have to wear my mask, I can't question vaccines, Bernie's going to scam me for a third time, but I'll still donate to him. It's like, how many times does Bernie Sanders need to stab you in the back for the Democrat establishment until you realize that he is the Democrat establishment? He's the not so obvious establishment. I fell for it for a few months too, but I really quickly learned as soon as, he changed tune, and I'm like, okay, this guy's a phony. But Nina Turner's like, a sheep wrangler, just being like, come with us, Patriots, and $25 minimum wage. Like, why not $400, huh? Why not $1,000 minimum wage? Why you're just gonna, whatever. But that's her take on what a woman is. You just say you are, and you are. Funny to see Andrew Tate counter that. And I haven't watched his full podcast with PBD yet, but I'll probably check it out at some point, because regardless of what people think about Andrew Tate, he's fascinating to listen to. There's a reason he's so successful and famous. And personally, I think he got framed in Romania. I think they're hyping up charges because he's an establishment threat. I don't think he's out there doing that craziest stuff to girls. I don't think he's doing the smartest stuff, but I think they're hyping up and trumping up their charges and trying to find something on him because he has such a impact on young men, and he's telling young men to not be so weak and pathetic. And even if you don't agree with his stances as a Christian or whatever, he's countering the left-wing weakness narrative, and he's been more successful than anyone else, and they hate that. So, I don't dislike Andrew Tate. I know some people do. They freak out, they cry. I love listening to what he has to say. I think he's funny, and I don't think they're going after him because he's a bad guy. I think they're going after him because he is giving young men something better than weakness and pharmacy pills. That's my take on it. Let me know yours in the comment section.